We got to the. So, like I said before, what we are doing is we are doing every operation inside an AWS account, and we will be learning how to launch a virtual machine in AWS, and we will be learning how to connect a virtual machine using without a password like SSH authentication, and we will be executing our Linux commands on this virtual machine. Okay, let's go and get started. So the first thing, choose an AMI. AMI is nothing but image operating system of the virtual computer that we are going to launch. Select that AMI and choose the instance type is nothing but like a RAM. They call with the different names, but it's a RAM. So we are just taking that T2.micro, which is free tier eligible, and I'll just leave all these default configurations like that. That's fine. And what I will do, I'll just launch. I'll use the same existing baseline key pair, and I'll launch this instance. Okay. Then in a minute, instance will be ready in a minute, and we are going to connect to that instance. So today what we are going to learn is we are going to learn user management. I've been telling you guys, let's say we have a jump server, right? I've been telling you, hey, this is the development server, 10 developers can access this server. Like how they can get access, right? How they can get access, like who will be adding. So there is a person, administrator can be adding them to that jump server so that they can get access. But how they will do that? Because it doesn't, we don't have any console or something like that. Just to go click here, click something like this here, add user. We don't see anything something like that. So there are Linux commands actually. So we'll be using Linux commands. So in order to use an extra user, in order to add an extra user, you must be a systems administrator. Administrator is nothing but a root user. What root user means? You are the administrator of that computer, that virtual computer, basically. Administrator means like you have Windows laptop, right? When you buy your laptop, you will have to log into your laptop with username and a password, or you would have to put all your details. So you could do anything you want inside that laptop. You could, let's say you got a default folder called desktop. You could delete that desktop folder. You could create your own folder and things like that. You could do anything you want. Like that, like an administrator only can add an extra user. Okay. An administrator only can add an extra user. But each time, how I'm going to know I'm an administrator, like I'm a super user, right? How I'm going to know that I'm a super user, right? CD, go to download so that I have my key pair over there. Let's connect to this computer. Now you see that. So I am in this machine. Everybody can see my font size, right? Everybody can see it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So right now I'm logged into this computer as a which user? EC2 user, right? EC2 user at the rate of this host name. This is the host. 172.31.37.177 is the host. I'm logged in as a EC2 user. Now I'm going to add user, and I'm going to call a user as a Vishnu, because I need access. Like somebody have to give me an access, right? So the command is sudo. What is sudo? People, you entered sudo yesterday, and you are trying to do something with a sudo. Like sudo is nothing but super user do. Only super user could do those things. Okay. Sudo is nothing but administrator, super user. A super user can access like default, like a Windows. When we get Windows, right? When we install Windows, we'll get some default softwares. default hidden files, default folders, right? Folders, right? Like a downloads, desktop, blah, 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 things like that, right? Same way, when you provision a virtual machine, you will get a lot of folders like that, like a binaries. If I do cd, right? Cd is a command. We know that cd. If I do which cd, you see that the cd is inside a binary folder, user bin folder. CD has been installed by default on Amazon Linux machine, basically. So these are all like a desktop folder, downloads folder. In our Windows computer, there are some default folders in Linux. Okay, those default folders, right? Only super user can access, especially this user bin, that kind of like, super user bin, sbin, and packages, any packages, nothing but applications. We installed Git is a package, for example. Okay, so those kind of specific configurations, only super user can access them. There is a one folder, everybody can have access to that folder called /temp. It's a temporary folder, everybody can have access to that folder, and this should be more than enough. Like this is called a file system in Linux. Basically, it's the same like a file system in Windows. When we get Windows, when we buy Windows from Microsoft, we will get desktop folder, downloads folder, and we will get quick access, and we'll get some hidden files and everything like that, right? Same way, when you provision a Linux folder, Linux server, you will get some default folders. Those default folders are nothing but file system, and only super user can able to access all of them. Okay, so that's super user. Super user can only add one more user. So the command to add a user is add user. So in order to add user, I need to be a super user, add user, and I'm going to provide username. I'm going to provide username. Okay. Okay, done. Now user should have a password, right? Sudo pass wd is a command. Pass wd. Password for whom? DevOps user. Now it is asking me to provide a password. I'm not going to see the password. In Linux, you cannot see even stars. Okay. Retype the password. Done. So now I'm going to switch back as a DevOps user. In order to do that, the command is su. Su is nothing but switch user. Switch user space hyphen. What user I'm trying to log in? DevOps user. Enter. So I'm going to provide a password. See? Enter. Now you see that I'm logged in as a DevOps user on this machine. But let's install Git like we did yesterday. Let's install Git as a DevOps user. Sudo yum install Git. Just example, we will have a session about yum as well. So just bear with me. Whatever I get, you see that we trust you received and used a lecture from a local system administrator. It usually boils down to these three things. Respect to privacy, think before you type with a grade. What I'm telling this Linux machine, what I'm telling this Linux machine, hey, I am a super user. Who I am a DevOps user right now, and I'm telling this machine, hey, I'm a super user. How I am telling that I'm a super user? By providing the sudo. Okay. Can you install Git for me? I'm a super user. And what response I got? Okay, you think you are a super user? Can you provide your password so that I can verify that you are a super user? Okay, let me do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Enter. No, you see that DevOps is not in the sudoers file. This incident will be reported. What it says is, hey, there is a file called sudoers file. In order to be a super user, you should be in the sudoers file. You should be in the sudoers file. Then only you will become a super user. Okay. Okay. So, but I'm not a super user. How I'm going to be added to that file? Who is gonna add? Oh, EC2 user by default, EC2 user is a super user, and we'll verify that in a minute. Let's exit from DevOps user, and automatically I'll be logged in as a EC2 user. Now try to provide sudo yum install git. And if EC2 user is not a super user, he would get the same error that DevOps user got, right? Let's see. But he did not get that error. That means he is in the sudoers file. Okay. Now let's add DevOps user to that sudoers file, and then let's see what happens. In order to do that, what we need to do is you need to switch back as a root user, as a super user, same thing. There is a file called vsudoers, right? That's what they said, right? vsudoers, right? Right? You see that vsudoers file. So let's go and vsudo, and here
maximize the terminal, Vishnu.
okay. Can you guys see it now?
Yeah.
So in order to do that, we would need to add that user to this wheel group actually. Okay. You see that this wheel group, who is in the wheel group right now? Root user. All means all. He can execute all commands. You see that? Allow root to run any commands anywhere. Right? And wheel group, if you are in the wheel group, still you could use all commands, all. Okay, same thing without password. If you are in the wheel group, and you don't need to provide any password and everything. So what we are going to do at the moment is, we are going to remove this comment line. That comment means it's not work. If you comment this one, it's not active. Remove this comment first. Okay, save this file and add the DevOps user to wheel group. In order to do that, what you need to do is add user. The command is add user -a g. That means you are adding to wheel group. That's it. And DevOps user to wheel group. Is that right? Let's see. What error did I get? Okay.
There is no A in the command.
So that add user is not supporting that -a flag. And let's see. Command to add user to wheel group. This is the best way to learn actually, because we don't run these commands every day. Use so wheel group, and you see that what I got. I am trying to find out the command to add user to wheel group, but what I'm getting is, you see that this is this is user mod actually, and wheel is the first. Okay, but what I'm getting, you see that this is CentOS server. You will see Ubuntu, you will see SUSE, or you will see any other. So what I would do specifically, I would provide Amazon Linux, things like that. But I got what I need. So what you're doing is you are modifying the user permissions. In order to do that, you need to add user mod. User mod to modify the permissions of existing user. But add user, you could, when you add user, you could add user to wheel group directly. When you create a user, you could add that user to wheel group, and we'll see that in a minute. Now let's go ahead and modify the user permissions. What is the username that we are trying to add to the wheel group?
DevOps.
Right? Let's see. Enter. Still we got the same issue. User mod -a. I'm gonna do Amazon Linux, especially Linux 2 actually. That's the AMI that we select. So user mod, wheel, and a username.
No, but it says CentOS, right? On the top.
Yeah, this is CentOS. Let's go and get the command. No.
Granting user access.
User mod to add wheel group Amazon Linux. Seriously? Okay. We did this, then user mod -a -g. Yeah, we did that. We did that actually. Or you could do this one as well. You see that DevOps user allow. That means you could run anything. You see that on the root, but we don't need to do that. We can add user to that wheel group. Let's see. Clear my screen and exit sudo user mod -a -g wheel. Is that spelling correct? Wheel spelling correct? DevOps. Let's switch back to. That means I did not get any error. That means it worked. I wasn't sure why it was not working as a root user, but it worked. Now switch back to DevOps user, right? And password for the DevOps user. Let's enter. You see that this time we are going to install some other thing. Sudo yum install httpd. We are trying to install some package to verify that this DevOps user is a super user. Okay, we are just trying that. I'm going to tell you what is HTTP a little bit later. Okay, this time we did not get that error, right? Earlier we got an error like, hey, if you think that you are a super user, can you verify your identity? Can you provide your password? I did provide my password, but it threw an error. But now this time, no, because this user has been added to that wheel group. And whoever is added to that wheel group in a sudoers file, he can be a super user. Now, DevOps user is a super user. He could create one more user. He could create or terminate users as well. He will get same permissions, like a same access as a root user. When somebody added a user to the sudoers group, obviously an administrator only can do that. The user will automatically get permissions as an administrator. Okay, there are two users only, normal user and a super user. Okay, this is how we create users. Now DevOps user can create one more user. We'll try that. Sudo add user and username. Let's create Jenkins user, for example, and sudo pass wd Jenkins user. Okay, let's provide the password for the Jenkins user. Okay, now switch back to as a Jenkins user. Now try to create a user as a Jenkins user. Add user and username. Provide one more user called Bitbucket user, for example. Now we got an error because Jenkins user does not belong to the sudoers file. He is not a super user, so he cannot add user. Only super user can add a user. Super user only can delete a user. Are we clear?
Yep.
Any questions? Obviously we'll have a questions, but let's switch back to DevOps user. And in order to delete the command, in order to delete a user, the command is sudo user del. That's it. And username. What user? Let's delete Jenkins user. User del -f, just use -f. Okay. Jenkins user does not exist. Already user has been deleted. In order to verify that, see home, EC2 user, DevOps user, it says Jenkins user is there, but it's going to disappear very soon. In order to verify, let's switch back to Jenkins user. You see that Jenkins user does not exist. It's going to disappear very soon. So that's how we create and delete and users. Create and delete users. This is the user management in Linux. I'm going to add these commands. I'm going to add this command to our chat. You guys can save it. Any doubts on the user management? How we can add users, delete users? No? Yes?
Nothing from here.
Yeah, as of now, no. When we try to create, we might get some doubts.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. So let's say, hey Vishnu, that server has a lot of users, right? For example, the server has a lot of users. How we can control their permissions? Like they're gonna modify files and everything. How we can control that? Like, let's say I need to provide an access to a tester. He should use that file, but he is not supposed to edit that file. That means he can read the data in order to run a JavaScript. Maybe there is a variable file. He could read the data from that variable file to run a JavaScript, but he cannot change that variable file. How we are going to do that? How we are going to do that in Linux, right? That's a good question, actually. So we are gonna, there is a component called file permissions. Okay, let's see what is file permissions. Let's create a file .txt, do ls, do long list. ls-lrt will give you the list one by one like this. You see that? So I'm going to explain what each and every component of this line actually. So in Linux, each user belongs to a group. Each user belongs to a group. So actually user doesn't have a permissions. The group has a permissions actually. The group has a permissions. If that user is not belongs to any group, he is itself is a group. So if the user belongs to some XYZ group, right? Automatically, excuse me.
No.
Yes. Anybody have any questions? So automatically the user will get those permissions, the permissions the group has basically. Okay. This is the user of this file basically. Okay. Who is the user of this file? This is the owner of this file. Okay. And this is the group, owner group. He is the owner and this is the owner group of this file. Now, what is this, Vishnu? Come on, you teaching us like a Spanish every day. Let's create one more directory to make it very clear. ls-lrt. Can anybody identify the difference? You see that?
Yeah, so I think it's a read, write, read, write, read. I don't know what the D means.
One is directory, one is file.
Exactly. So the D means D is a directory. And this, if an item starts with an hyphen, that means that's a file. Even though let's create a file, maybe Java. No, not Java, maybe test, right? ls-lrt. I did not give any extension. It's just a test, right? If I do this, you see that? So this file has started with a test. It doesn't have any extension, right? I cannot say this is a text file, this is that file, this file. You see that? I can clearly say that this is a text file by seeing here, or this is the best way. If any of the item starts with a hyphen, that's a file. Any of the item that starts with a D, that's a directory, that's a folder. Okay. So what is that? Read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. Right? Let's go to our diagram. Let's try to learn some painting. Hopefully I can learn this time very good painting. So read, write, execute means that the person who has that permissions, the first three, if you look at that total number of characters, right? How many characters you see? 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 10, right? Can somebody say yes? Total 10 characters, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So in the 10 characters, let's do 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. The first character will tell you whether this is a file or directory. So you're good. You're good with the first character, right?
Yep.
Next three will tell you the permissions of the owner of that file or directory. Permissions of the owner of the file or directory, owner. Okay. The second three will tell you owner group, what group this owner belongs to. Owner group. The last three will tell you everybody else. Whoever is have access to this system, they have these permissions. Okay. How I'm going to change it? Like, what is that read, write, execute? What does that mean? How I'm going to change it? So the first, these in each tree, the first is W, the second is, first is R, sorry, my bad. The second is W, and the last one is X. R, W, X. R, W, X. So number R will be noted with the number 4. Like a character R will be noted with the number 4. W will be noted with the number 2. X will be noted with the number 1. Okay. If I want to give complete permissions to this guy, I need to add 4 plus 2 plus 1. And if I want to give the same permissions to this guy as well, what I need to do? I need to add 4 plus 2 plus 1, right? 1.
Yeah.
If I want to give same permissions to this guy as well, it's the same thing, right? 4 plus 2 plus 1. Okay. And we'll try that. We'll try this first and we'll see what happens. So the command to modify the file permissions is chmod. Okay. Remember yesterday we did see that command chmod 400.
Yeah.
Right. And today I want to change the permissions of this file. I want everybody to have, every right of that file. How I'm going to change it? So I want like, owner has a full rights, and owner group has a read and write execute full rights, and everybody also has read and write execute like a full rights. What number should I give here?
You can give 007
So,
or maybe 777.
so you see that, so I want to give read and write execute, right? It's a 7, right? And the read and write execute for this group as well. It's a 7 as well. Read and write execute for everybody as well. It's a 7 as well, right? Let's try that. I don't even know. We are learning here. So let's try that. 7, 7, 7. Did I enter? Okay, I did. Now let's verify that. Did we do right? You see that? Now read, write, execute, read, write, execute. Okay. The permissions has been changed, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask Aishwarya. Aishwarya is in the call. Hello.
Yes, Vishnu.
Yeah. So now I want to leave the owner permissions as like, complete read, write, execute. But I want to give owner group only read and execute, not writable permissions. And I want to give others to read and execute, not writable permissions. What number should I use?
Will you please come again for owner group? What permission they need, Vishnu?
So I'm going to repeat one more time. Right now for this file, right?
Okay.
User has 100% rights. Read, write, execute, right?
Okay.
User group has the same thing. Read, write, execute, right?
Yeah.
And everybody has the same thing. Read, write, execute, right? These three
Yeah.
belongs to user, these three belongs to user group, and these
Yeah.
three belongs to everybody.
Okay.
Now I want to change the permissions to only user, only owner can have everything, and owner group should have a read and execute. Everybody should have a read and execute. What number should I give? Look at
755.
755. Okay, let's
Yeah.
try that. Let's verify that.
Okay, Vishnu.
You see that read, write, execute, and read and execute, no writable permissions. Read and execute, no writable permissions. Okay. So
Okay.
that was correct answer. Okay. So
Thank you.
now I want to have only readable permissions to the owner as well. Everybody else, they doesn't have any permissions. They don't need to have any permissions. I want to have only readable permissions. Is Madhavi on the call?
Yeah, it is. Tell me again, what permissions owner has?
Only readable permissions.
Owner has only readable. It's a 400.
What is the command? Can you give me complete command?
Oh, sorry, 1 second. Owner has only readable, right? It's, other else?
Everybody else zero, nothing. They don't have any permissions.
Okay, then chmod 400 file.txt.
Okay, let's try that. ls-lrt. You see that this person has only readable permissions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's try to edit that file. You see that warning, changing read-only file. That's a warning. Okay. That's what we get. Anybody have any other questions? Everybody got that, right? How we change the file permissions and everything?
Vishnu, if we give 007, so everybody has read, write, execute, right? So that
007?
means if we give 007.
Okay, let's try that. Chmod 007, you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
So does a user and a group fall? So user and group also fall in the everyone, right? So that means it's equal to 777 as well.
Let's see. Is that equal to 777 as well? Can somebody answer the question actually?
No.
Mhm.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it should be.
He is
Because-
everybody, right? Like everybody means user, owner, everybody. So that person should have a read, write, execute as well. Because right now, easy to user is logged in as logged into the server, right? He has this file, and this file has read, write, executable permissions for everybody. Okay, but owner, easy to user doesn't have, and easy to owner doesn't have, but they belongs to the everybody, right? And let's try to edit that file. Try to save it. No, you cannot. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Naresh, that's wrong, and I was wrong as well.
Okay.
Somebody say no, he cannot have. Okay, that's a good question actually. Now let's copy this file to /temp and let's see what happens. Cp this file /temp. He cannot even copy that file because he doesn't have a permissions to that file.
Mhm.
So let's use cp file to /temp. Now go back to /temp. You see that file.txt, right? There is a file.txt, vim file.txt. Okay,
Warning.
Yeah, let's try to save it. No. Wow, that's interesting. So let's log in as a Jenkins user. Switch user. There is no Jenkins user, right? DevOps user. Because everybody, that means DevOps user is in the everybody, right?
Yeah.
Let's try to edit that file. He doesn't even see that file actually, because where he is at right now, if I do pwd, he is at his home folder, right?
Yeah.
He is at his home directory. The file is at /temp directory, or the file is at EC2 home folder /temp directory, cd /temp directory. Let's go here. Now do ls. Now he can see that file, vim file.txt. Now he can edit it. Oh,
Pretty much no one can edit it.
wow, it seems like it. So there is got to be something like a user nothing, but the owner should have at least some permissions. Okay.
Yeah, at least read permission.
Yeah, so let's go and change the permissions of that file. And if I do change the file permissions as a sudo, right now I'm changing the permissions not as a DevOps user, changing the permissions as a super user. Are we getting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Priya, did you get that actually? Is Priya on the call?
Yes, Vishnu.
You follow, you getting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are trying to modify the permissions as a super user, not as a DevOps user. He belongs to super user. Then only he will be able to execute that modification, whatever we are trying to do. Now, give like 6, 6, 7, right? And file.txt, do ls, vim file.txt. Now he can change it. Okay. 6, 6, 7 means that's read, write, and execute, right?
Yeah,
Read, write, and read, write, execute. Let's do it. Let's change it to
447.
Yeah, let's try that. 447. Now vim file.txt. So the owner and the group should have at least some permissions. Seems like. Okay, let's do sudo chmod 227 file.txt. Now try to change that file. Yeah, seems like it. They should have at least some permissions. The owner group should have at least some permissions. Let's try to save it. Yeah, I'm able to save it. That's interesting. Everybody got that?
Yeah.
Yes, Vishnu.
Can someone tell me what exactly happened? I will ask Ramya actually. Ramya, is Ramya on the call? Ramya?
Vishnu, yes, Vishnu.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you an opportunity tomorrow, okay?
Sure, Vishnu.
Sindhu on the call? Sindhu?
Yes, Vishnu.
Yeah, did you understand that file permissions, how we change the file permissions and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I missed some part, but like, I understand.
You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Divya, I want to change the permissions of this file. Let's switch back to EC2 user. I want to change the permissions of this file. Like I want to provide. Let's get out of here. I want to provide read, write, executable permissions for this test file. I want to provide read, write, executable for everything. What command should I use?
Um, read, write, execute.
Yes.
Vishnu, can anyone answer?
No, I asked Divya, right? I guess.
Oh, okay, okay.
Sorry, Vishnu.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. I want everybody to understand so that we will make sure that you guys can do your assignment. If you don't understand something, you gotta stop me, because there is no point we move forward. You know what I mean? I want everybody
Yeah.
to learn something. I learned something today by that question. Actually, I didn't know that at least some permissions should have a user owner should have some permissions. I didn't know that. I learned that today actually, after 10 years, I guess, 10 years. Chmod 77 test. Let's see. Chmod 77 test. Do ls hyphen lrt will list the items like one by one, not like uh what is this is horizontal, right? So ls hyphen lrt will list the items in vertical, so that you will see the permissions and owner group, everything. Okay, now let's do it. And what is the test? Yeah, you see the test. So the first character will tell you this is a file, not a directory. And the first 3 characters of those 9 characters will tell you the owner permissions of this file. So right now, owner has a read, write, execute. The second 3 will tell you the owner group permissions of this file. That is also read, write, execute. The third 3 will tell you everybody else permissions. Everybody else means whoever is access to the server, their permissions. How we can change those permissions is like we can modify the permissions based on the by default configured numbers, and the read, that means R, noted with the number 4, and the write, that is W, noted with the number 2, and execute number 1. Okay, so the first 3 is the owner. Okay, the second 3 is the owner group, and the third 3 is the everybody else. Okay, and we have one before. This will tell us whether it's file or directory. Okay, if I want to provide full permissions to the owner, I need to do full permissions in the sense read, write, execute. That means 4 plus 2 plus 1, that is 7. Okay, now I want to provide only read and execute permissions for the group. What I need to do, I need to skip this writable permissions. I'm saying read and execute. 4 plus 1, that is 5. And I want to provide read and writable permissions to group. 4 plus 2, I don't want to provide executable permissions. 4 plus 2, that is 6. 7, 5, 6, like that. Let's say if I want to provide only read, write, executable permissions for everybody, what I will do? 4 plus 2 plus 1, 7. 4 plus 2 plus 1, 7. And 4 plus 2 plus 1, 7. Are we clear?
Yes.
Everybody understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Okay. And so tomorrow's assignment, what I want you to guys do is, I want you to guys create 5 users. Tomorrow's assignment, 5 users. Okay. And most of you guys have 5 repositories, right? Already in your GitHub. So from now onwards, you guys will have to work on EC2 instance only. So let me stop this, stop recording. Anybody have any questions regarding today's class?
Vishnu, I have one doubt.
Oh yes, go ahead.
Like this EC2 instance you have created, a virtual machine you have created in Amazon, right? AWS, right? Now you have added all the files using touch command. You have added so many files like file.txt, so many files like that you have added. So these are all will be in the EC2 instance.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, will it be charged then for us?
What is that?
Will AWS will charge for that?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's free account. So
Okay.
make sure once you work on it, you terminate it. Make sure you will be terminating that instance. And when you
Okay.
work tomorrow, when you do your assignments or things like that, and you need to relaunch again. But they don't charge
Okay.
anything. But I want you to guys terminate each and every resource that you guys practice. Okay.
Okay. Okay, Vishnu.
Yeah.
Thank
Any other questions regarding today's class? We are going to discuss the issues about yesterday's class.
Vishnu, quick
Vishnu,
question.
it might be a silly question. Why we are giving all these commands like this file or directory like that? Why we are giving this kind? Why we are using or why we are giving this kind of commands?
These changing the file permissions and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not a silly question. That's a good question actually. Let's say there are some, for example, there are some secrets in the sense there are some SSH keys. Okay. If anybody modify any SSH key, right? For example, they might add something, some space accidentally, or they might add some letter accidentally. The SSH key is not same as the SSH key that has been added. So the file will be corrupted. For example, if anybody modify, remember yesterday I did modify the PEM file, the SSH key, like key pair. I did modify that key pair right yesterday, and I tried to connect to that server. I couldn't able to because the key that I downloaded is not exact the key that I was given. So you don't have access to your servers, or you don't have access to your your environment, and that could be a mess, right? So even though I need to provide those keys for a tester, for example, to test a code or to test some functionality or to test something, to connect to that server and test it something and just come out, and I can restrict them. I won't add them to a super user. I can restrict to them. For example, let's provide this, what is that, this file.txt, right? Let's do ls-lrt. Okay, vim test.txt, vim test. Let's open test. Actually, you know what, let's check this test files. Now I don't want to give any permissions. I don't want to give editable permissions to Jenkins user. I don't want to give editable permissions to this file for the Jenkins user. What I will do, I'm going to restrict. What I'm going to do, chmod, I'm going to modify the permissions, only read and execute. Everybody can read, just execute. So what permission should I give? Read, just execute, no writable.
Six.
Read and execute, no writable. Read and execute.
5.
Exactly.
555.
Right? Now I'm changing these file permissions to 555. Okay. Now copy this test folder, test file, because it's in the test file is in which user home folder, EC2 user home folder. DevOps user cannot see that file because it's in EC2 user home folder. Everybody will have access to /tem folder in Linux. file system. Okay, so copy the test file to /temp. Okay, go to that /temp, cd /temp, right? You see that now I have a file. Now my tester will come into the picture. Who is my tester here? Jenkins is my tester, not Jenkins. Jenkins is not there. So DevOps is my tester. Okay. So my tester came into the picture. Now I want him to use this secrets file. Let's assume that there are some secrets. Okay. Use the secrets file for testing purpose, whatever the testing that he does. But I don't want him to edit that file. I don't want him to corrupt that file. I don't want him to add some extra content to that file. And by accidentally, right? By accidentally, he tried to edit that file, right? And he is trying to edit some content. He won't be able to edit it. I'm controlling his permissions by providing that file permissions. Did I answer your question?
Yes, Vishnu.
So everybody understood, right?
Yeah, yes, Vishnu.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free. Just, feel free. We have a lot of time. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to stop recording. I will share this video with you guys. And I'm going to stop recording. So yeah, let's discuss. No, let's take the assignment first. Okay. So I want everybody to create an EC2 instance. First step 1, create an EC2 instance, note it down or type it down, whatever you could do. So you already have 5 repositories in your Git repository, right? So connect to that user, connect to that instance as a EC2 user. I want everybody to create 5 users. 5 users. Okay. Hello. Yes.
Hi. You're so cute.
Can somebody?
You're so cute.
Can you mute yourself? I'm not sure who is talking.
Rani.
Rani, can you mute yourself actually? Hello?
Yes, Vishnu, we can hear you.
Yeah, so create 5 users, right? Generate SSH key for 5 users. That means when you log in as a 1 user, let me share my screen and I'm gonna... Can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see it now?
Yes, Vishnu.
Yes.
So you guys created an EC2 instance, right? Step 1, create an EC2 instance. Step 2, add 5 users. You will see the command add user add. Simple. How simple is that? User 1, blah 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 blah, user 5. Okay, and log in as a new user. How many times you should log in? 5 times, right?
Yes.
5 times. Each time when you log in, generate an SSH key or a SSH key. Okay, add that public key to GitHub. Okay, you add it, so you will get the connection. Clone repo 1 for user 1 and add 3 files. Next, get out from that user and log in as a second user. Create SSH key, add your SSH key to GitHub, and clone repo to add 3 files.
Vishnu, login as new user in nothing but switching the user, right?
That's it. Yes.
Okay.
Switching the user. Do the same thing. Up to 5, up to 5th user, something like that. User. Are we clear? Everybody?
Vishnu,
Yes.
Vishnu, like users means here like this easy to user, Jenkins, like DevOps. Are these the users?
You could give any name. What I would do in order to avoid the confusion, I would give user 1. First user is like simple. I would provide very simple. I would want to work very simple way. The first user is user 1. Second user, user 2. Third user, user 3. Like that, 5th user, user 5. That's it.
Oh,
can
I assumed these are all predefined users. Sorry, I doesn't know like
No.
it's
User.
user-defined.
Yeah. So that user. So the companies have usernames like that. Let's say they're using Jenkins, right? What Jenkins? Multiple members can use Jenkins, and they cannot put their username and password and try to connect that server. It could be pain, a lot of pain, and a lot of authentication required, and a lot of configuration required. So what they do is they create a user ID, basically username, user ID for Jenkins server, and whoever need access to that Jenkins server, they will add all these user permissions to the Jenkins server. So let's say what I'm telling is Jenkins user, they create a user called Jenkins, for example, right?
Okay.
So 10 people in the company, they will access Jenkins every day. Okay. A user itself is a group, right? That's what I said, right? So what people do in the companies is they will add these 10 people to the Jenkins group, Jenkins user group. So automatically Jenkins permissions, these people will get Jenkins permissions automatically because they are in the Jenkins group, right? Like that.
Okay, Vishnu. Okay.
Yeah, did I answer your question?
Yeah, so we are using here the sudo add user for to achieve this.
Yeah, that's it. And that is the command. I already sent you the commands in the chat.
Yeah.
You guys can save that one. But these commands and these notes for just initial days, so that you guys won't have a lot of confusion. I know a lot of you guys don't know anything, and most of you guys worked as a Java developers or QA engineers, manual engineers. A lot of you guys have more than my experience, but just I'm treating like everybody doesn't know anything. Everybody in this class, they're at 0 right now. They just graduated and they're trying to learn something, and I'm trying to teach what I know actually. So like that, if you know all this stuff, just try to practice one more time. If you know, it will take maybe 5 minutes, or if you don't know, maybe 5 hours. But it's good to learn something actually. So yeah, so that's all about for this class. So we learn user management and we learn file permissions today. So in our Linux section, what we learn basic Linux commands and a user management and the file permissions, right? The packages installation, we are going to learn it. We are going to learn packages installation, and we'll learn some Git basic commands and everything. But in today's assignments, right? In today's assignment, what you guys will be practicing? You guys will be practicing file permissions, not file permissions, basically. You guys will be practicing user management. That means adding users. And you guys will be practicing basic Linux commands as well. That means you guys creating files, 3 files each time. And you guys will be practicing Git commands as well. You guys pushing, pulling, like pushing your files to the GitHub, right? So you guys doing everything what we are discussed actually. So that is good side. Okay. If you guys have any doubts, if you guys stuck, work the same way that you guys doing. Share everything in that WhatsApp group, and somebody will respond as soon as they get a chance. Okay. Any doubts for today's class?
Vishnu, quick question.
Yes.
So out of your experience, how many times do you gave these, I mean, like you alter these user permissions in your real time?
I never done that.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Just
never-
want to make sure how frequently we use this user permissions.
So what happens is, in the real-time scenarios, what happens is,
Mhm.
when somebody hire you, what they will do, they will add you to that group. Remember the group that I was talking about, user group? Let's say you join in the company as a systems administrator. Already there are a lot of systems administrators there, and they all do have access for some resources. And there is a group. That group has access to all those resources. What they will do, they will add my pin to that group. That's it. We don't change anything. We don't, but something is wrong. For example, something is wrong, right? And we need to troubleshoot. Something is wrong in the sense, not from our side. Like we don't do anything wrong. For example, application is acting crazy. Something is acting crazy, and there is got to be some permissions issue, or there is got to be some authentication issue. Sometimes you might need to work with your manager or architect or with your coworker. And Bruce tell me, hey Vishnu, can you change the file permissions? Okay, Bruce, what command should I use to change the file permissions? If I ask like that, seriously, Vishnu? Okay, yeah, he could laugh. Okay, seriously?
Makes sense.
I would never give him that chance. You know what I mean? That's why I'm teaching all these things. Otherwise, I would take a mark, just to mark two pages Word document, and hey, these are the questions that they will ask in the interview, and this is how you need to read, and done. Kel khatam, dukanam bandh. But I don't want to do that. I want to teach something. I want to teach what I know, and I want you to guys go to the company like a serious professionals. Like when you're telling them that you have 8 years experience, if you coming out from this class, you will have 8 years experience. You will be interacting with me every day. You will be interacting with each other in the group. So you will get experience. That's it. And you know the work, user management, how to connect to EC2, and we are going to create baselines, snapshots, and everything. So don't worry about all those things. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, one question, Vishnu, and some what do you say? We can also use the shorthand notations for giving permissions and removing the permissions, right?
What is that?
Shorthand notations is the kind of identities and with the permissions, like the user with the alphabet of U and U plus what do you say, O kind of thing. Those shorthand notations. O plus W means
A plus X.
Yeah. With identities, permissions, and actions, we can also give the permissions, right?
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that.
Yeah. Or we should use these bits only.
So this is a very good practice. If you understood that read, write, execute, just 3 words, you don't need to remember anything actually.
Okay.
Read, write, execute. It's how simple is that? So the flags,
Yeah,
right?
this looks very simple, but shorthand notations are a bit complicated. I just wanted to know whether we use only bits or we should use shorthand notations also.
So the flags, right? The flags, like
Yes.
all those flags, it's very hard to remember. And even you don't need to remember. You could use man command to get there. But even still, you need to see -a what it does, a plus x what it does, things like that.
Exactly.
This read, write, execute, it's how simple is that? Just, oh no, I know read 4, write 2, x1, simple, just like that. So yeah, but as a beginner, this is what I would do. Definitely, I would go with this flow, because you'll be asked these questions in the interviews as well. Trust me. Yeah, hey, I want to know what are those 10 characters over there. They will ask something like that. Yeah. So
yeah, my next question was that whether is there any chance of asking the user permissions in the interview?
Yes, they will ask.
Okay.
Yeah, can you tell me what are those 10 characters and what is the first character in the 10 characters and things like that? Yes, people will ask a lot of times.
Okay.
Yes. Any other questions? But if you know everything, like you don't worry, you don't have to worry about anything. Let them ask. Even if you don't know something, right? You will know that. If somebody asks you some question and you don't know, after that call, the first thing I would do, I would go to Google and I would see what that guy asked me and I couldn't able to answer. Okay, let me find out what he asked me, and I would learn that immediately. So it's good practice, and that's how we get experience, and that's how we get knowledge, most of the knowledge in the current situation. Any other questions regarding the class, today's class?
Nothing.
If not, yes, let's discuss the issues, yesterday's issues. Yeah, I can see give me 1 second. Let me open that WhatsApp chat. And
it's myself. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Raj.
that's fine. There is one more person also. Who is that? Give me, I'm so sorry for taking your time. Just give me 1 second. Madhavi. Is Madhavi on the call?
Yeah.
So were you able to fix this issue?
Sorry?
You shared an issue in the chat actually.
Yeah. I did not generate that public key.
Okay.
So after that, I got that.
So you are good, right?
Yeah, I am good. And I posted that 3 repositories.
Okay. I said 5. You're gonna need 5 repositories.
Yeah, I'll do 2 more.
Okay. And Sharada. Is Sharada on the call?
Yeah, Vishnu.
So did you get a chance to, like, were you able to fix this issue actually?
Yeah, only we had a issue with the GitHub actually.
So the GitHub configurations, right? Email and username. So you're good with that.
No, GitHub folder.
No, how to create a GitHub folder,
Directory.
directory. Like I had a problem only with that.
Now you're good, or you need help with that?
Can you just explain once?
Yeah, can you share your screen actually?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you are a host now. You can share your screen.
Yes.
Can you see the screen, Vishnu?
Yes. Use Control plus. Control and a plus.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit, increase the font size. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
CD GitHub. CD space GitHub colon.
Use tab actually. Use tab So type one letter and use tab. Remove IT, just do Z and use tab. Let's see what happens. Use tab.
Yep. Okay. Got it.
One more time, use tab one more time.
Yep.
You see that? How many items you have which starts with a git? 2, right?
Yeah, 2.
Now, which one you want to go?
Maybe first one.
Yeah. So the first next character is underscore. Use underscore, shift to dash.
Yeah.
And use tab now.
Okay.
You see that? That's how you need to work. Enter. Okay, now we are in GitLab folder.
Yes, Vishnu.
Yes. So now what you're trying to do?
No, yesterday I couldn't create GitHub only.
So the GitHub is a folder, just a folder.
Oh.
In order to create a folder, what command you should use? mkdir.
Yeah, mkdir.
Mkdir is the command to create a command.
Okay.
Create a folder. You created a folder. Now
Okay.
you can clone your remote repository to this folder using git clone command.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Vishnu.
Git clone space and URL, SSH URL. And
Okay.
you will get the remote repository. Is a repository is nothing but it's a folder.
Okay.
You can go to that folder. You can add files, whatever files.
Okay.
And you can push it back. There are 3 commands: git add, git commit, and git push, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Vishnu.
Yeah. So I want you to create 10 repositories, not 5, 10.
Okay.
And each repository 5 files. Do it one by one, okay, na? One by one, slowly, one by one. If you get an issue, just share that pictures in the chat and the 10 repositories, okay?
Okay, Vishnu.
And yeah, even let me share my screen for real quick. Can you make me host?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell everybody something. Yeah, so when you guys add files, right? Yeah, can you make me host? Click on my name on the right side, you will see more, right?
View, I can say view.
More.
Yeah, here.
No. Go to Vishnu. Wait. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, no, I'm still not. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Let's see. No, not yet.
Make host.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you guys add files, right? What I would do is, I don't know what all these things does, but I'll try to add files something like this. So, if anybody check my GitHub repository, right? Python code to some logic, some condition. Are most of you guys aware of W3 schools, right? W3 schools for basic HTML website, whatever. And I would go here. For example, I can create a file with HTML extension, whatever. I would go here. I would just copy this, just like this. I don't know what it does, but just to see, and add this content to that file that I'm going to push to the repository, GitHub repository. For example, let's say touch and file.html, for example, something like that. Vim file.html. Just to shift I, that will take you to insert mode. Sorry, command C. Just add this like this. Then git add file and git commit, git push, 10 files like that. Something like that. You could add some Java code or some Python code or some HTML code. You don't need to know. We don't write any Java, Python, HTML. I can write it down and I can give you on the printed note. But some people will check, hey, do you have GitHub account? Okay, can I have the URL? Some people will ask that. We don't want to take a chance. We want to prepare. When we do prepare, We want to prepare like 100%. We want to do our best and leave the rest like that. Okay. Try something, add files, something like this to your GitHub repository, so that that can give you some strength when you say like you have very good experience with the GitHub and everything. That can get you some strength. And any questions regarding the assignment? It's not that priority. If you don't have enough time, you don't need to add. But assignment is very, very important. So if you have
shall I share my screen, Vishnu?
Oh yeah.
What's
Let me make you host.
So I'll make me host.
Oh. Yeah, you can share your screen now.
Yes. Okay, this is the problem I'm getting. The destination path already exists and is not an empty directory. But when I go and refresh in the GitHub,
it's not a GitHub, it's a GitHub.
Yeah, GitHub. Sorry.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Go there. Yeah. Do ls. So it says the destination path is already exist, right?
Yes.
Do ls. That means you are trying to clone the repo one, but repo one is already there.
Okay.
Right.
But it's branch is not created in the GitHub.
So you can go to that repo one, cd to repo one.
Yes.
Enter. And you will see main branch, right?
Yes.
Just type git branch and that can get you git branch. So use this space git branch.
Okay.
Dash a
Space
dash a hyphen a.
Okay.
So you don't have any branches. Why you don't have any branches?
Yeah, that's what I couldn't able to create the branches.
No, you could git branch. Git branch. No. Sorry. Git checkout. Hyphen b.
Hyphen b.
Space branch name, whatever the branch you want to create.
Okay.
Now you are in file one branch. Now can you do git branch?
Okay. Hyphen a.
No, just enter.
Okay.
Basically what you will do, you will get that branch name as an output, but you saw that branch name on the right side.
Vishnu, I think within the braces it is showing the main and file one. Maybe that is showing us the branch.
Yeah, that is showing as a branch. The reason is this is not 100% Linux server. This is just an interpreter. That's why it's not printing that exact branch on the next line. But if you do it on the Linux server, you will see exactly the branch name, which branch you are in.
Yeah, if I go and refresh here, but I couldn't get it in the GitHub. Let's see.
The branch
is not yet.
Yeah, so you need to commit the changes actually.
Okay.
So you created something here in your local computer. Yeah, in your local computer. Right? No, in order to commit, you need to add first. Git add. Okay. Did you create any file or things like that?
Yes, repo one file one.txt.
Okay, yeah, you can add that file.
I think he's doing in the branch.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Add. Yeah, now commit. So what it will do, it will add that file in a different branch. Did you get me?
Yeah. Got it.
Yes. Yeah,
Yep.
you can
Okay,
give
I'll
a
try.
comment message.
Yeah, I'll try today.
Okay. So did I
Okay,
answer
thank
your
you.
question actually?
Yeah.
So anybody have any other questions regarding today's assignment?
Vishnu, in today's assignment, you said each time you log in, generate SSH key, and right. So
Yes.
whenever we log in, every time we have to generate that key.
Yes, you need to generate the key and you need to add the public key to the GitHub. Then only you will get access for that GitHub server as that user.
Okay. When today in yesterday's assignment, one time only I generated that key. So, but I created 3 repositories.
Yeah. You should create 5 repositories actually. But
yeah, that's okay. But I did not generate.
I think Madhavi question is for each time we create the repository, she's asking we need to add the SSH key. So Madhavi, in your case, only one time, as you are the person you are logging in, so only one time you need to add the SSH key. When you log in with a different user, then you have to add a different.
Yeah, got it.
Good job. Did everybody understand that? So SSH keys belongs to a user, not to the server actually. When you are trying to log in as a different user, you should provide your SSH key basically. Okay. Are we good, Madhavi?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I'll let you guys go. Before I let you guys go, actually I have an open position, Python developer. Do you guys know any Python developer actually? Any Python developer or any, one second, let me check my email one more time. I have a DBA role as well. Do you guys know any DBA, Oracle DBA or Python developer? If you guys know somebody, let me know. And I'll try to schedule an interview, okay? All right, guys, if you don't have any other questions, I'll let you guys go. Have a great evening and we'll chat tomorrow.
Vishnu, I have one question.
Okay, go ahead.
In AWS instant, in which?
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't able to hear you properly. Can you repeat that, Vanita?
How to stop that instant AW instant?
Okay, that's a good question. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay. Can you see? Can you see my screen now? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, Vishnu.
Okay. So if I choose that instance, right? Let me say I'm not selecting anyone. If I select that instance on the little bit top, you will see Actions tab. If I click on that Actions tab, you will see instance state, instance settings, image, things like that. But for now, let's go to instance state. You could see stop, reboot, terminate. What I want you to guys do is, I want you to guys terminate after your work. Just terminate the instance after your work, okay? Did I answer your question, Vanita?
Vishnu, instead of terminate, can we stop the instance? Does it gonna charge?
You can stop without any charge, but I want you to guys terminate and recreate it.
Okay.
Number of times, okay?
But anyhow, you said it is, I think it's free, right? Its own charge, right, Vishnu? For
Yeah,
that?
it's free. Still, I want you to guys. So
terminate and we have to do it again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I want you to guys do. Because free for 1 TB. 1 TB. What 1 TB means? For example, let's say you created some files, right? You created 10 files on the server, right? Even if you stop that instance, 10 files are there, and they will count as a time, like how many minutes you have that files, how much time. Let's say you have a 0.5 GB files, right? They will count like a minutes, how many minutes is there, things like that. I don't want you to guys I want you to guys create new server when you work. So you will understand more, you will explore more. Okay. All right, guys, I'll let you guys go. Have a great evening and we'll chat tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.